Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Stories and Sleepy Souls. Well, today I have some scary black screen stories to help you fall asleep peacefully. I'm damn sure that before the end of these stories, you're gonna fall asleep. So, like this video and subscribe the channel. And did you like my stories? Did you like my voice? Tell me in the comments. So, are you ready? Turn the lights off, close your eyes and start listening me. Passengers stood frozen in the long security line at Miami International Airport, their chatter silenced by the sudden flicker of lights. A chilling gust of wind swept through the terminal, though no doors had opened. Amid the bustling chaos of one of America's busiest airports, something felt undeniably wrong, as though the air itself carried a warning. Do not proceed. Claire Evans, a 27-year-old travel journalist, had arrived at Miami International for what should have been a routine layover. Her connecting flight to Bogota was delayed, leaving her with an unexpected 6-hour wait. Armed with her laptop and a half-finished coffee, she decided to find a quiet corner to work. Her spot near Gate D19 seemed perfect, oddly deserted, considering the packed terminal around her. The area was dimly lit. The overhead announcement speakers crackled intermittently, and the distant hum of escalators echoed through the corridor. Yet, Claire's instincts told her she wasn't truly alone. As Claire typed away, her attention was drawn to an elderly woman sitting a few rows away. The woman's eyes were fixed on Claire, unblinking, her lips moving as if muttering words Claire couldn't hear. Feeling uneasy, Claire tried to dismiss it, assuming the woman was just eccentric. But then her phone buzzed. A notification popped up. D19 is not safe. Leave. It wasn't from a number she recognized. In fact, there was no number at all, just a blank sender. She laughed nervously, thinking it must be a prank. But when she glanced back at the elderly woman, she was gone. The chair she had been sitting in was empty, but a faint, lingering indentation on the seat made it clear she had been real. A quick survey of the area showed no sign of her. How could someone move so quickly without a sound? The intercom crackled again, and a distorted voice emerged, repeating the same phrase 3 times. Flight D19 is boarding now. Claire frowned. She knew there was no such flight. She had checked the departure screens earlier, and Gate D19 wasn't assigned to any flight tonight. She glanced around, searching for airport staff, but found none. The nearby screens were now flickering with static, and the once bustling terminal had grown eerily quiet. Deciding she needed to leave the area, Claire grabbed her bag and started walking back toward the main concourse. But as she passed the gate's glass doors, she caught a glimpse of the tarmac outside. Her heart skipped a beat. A plane was parked there, its fuselage ancient, rusted, and covered in streaks of something dark. The tail number was faded, unreadable. The plane's windows were pitch black, yet she could feel eyes watching her from within. The jet bridge extended to the ghostly aircraft, as if beckoning passengers to board. And then she heard it. Faint footsteps behind her. Slow, deliberate. Turning sharply, Claire saw no one. But as she strained her ears, she could hear whispers. Words that didn't make sense. They were in a language she didn't recognize, but their tone carried an unmistakable warning. Panicking, she bolted toward the main terminal. But no matter how far she ran, the corridor seemed endless. The lights above her dimmed further with every step, and the sound of footsteps, many footsteps, grew louder behind her. Finally, she stumbled upon a janitor, an older man pushing a mop cart. Gasping for air, She grabbed his arm. "Please, help me. Something's wrong at gate D19. The man's face turned pale. He looked over his shoulder, as if making sure no one was listening, and whispered, "You shouldn't be here. That gate, it's cursed." "What are you talking about?" Claire demanded. The janitor hesitated before continuing. "Years ago, there was a plane, Flight 407. It departed from gate D19 but never reached its destination. They say it disappeared over the Bermuda Triangle. No wreckage was ever found. Since then, strange things happen here. People hear voices, see things that aren't there, and some never leave." Claire's stomach churned. "That's ridiculous," she stammered, but her voice lacked conviction. "Go now," the janitor urged, gripping her shoulder, "before it's too late." Claire sprinted back toward the main terminal, her surroundings growing increasingly surreal. The bustling crowds she had seen earlier were gone, replaced by shadows that seemed to move of their own accord. The once bright screens now displayed distorted faces, their mouths open in silent screams. She reached an escalator leading up to the concourse, but as she stepped on, it ground to a halt. A voice echoed through the terminal, low, guttural, and impossibly close. "Claire, join us. Her name." How did it know her name? She turned and saw them, a group of shadowy figures standing at the base of the escalator. Their features were indistinct, but their eyes glowed a sickly yellow. Among them was the elderly woman she had seen earlier, her face twisted into a malevolent grin. Claire screamed and stumbled off the escalator, darting into a restroom to hide. She locked herself in a stall, trembling as the footsteps grew louder outside. Suddenly, the lights in the restroom flickered and went out. In the darkness, she could hear breathing, raspy, labored, and right outside her stall. A single word was whispered, sending chills down her spine. Bored. Hours later, airport security found Claire's belongings near gate D19, her laptop, her coffee cup, and her boarding pass. But there was no sign of Claire herself. Surveillance footage showed her sitting near the gate, staring intently at the empty jet bridge. At precisely 3:33 a.m., the cameras glitched, and when the feed resumed, she was gone. Rumors spread among airport staff about another victim of the D19 curse. Some say they've seen her walking the halls late at night, her face pale, her eyes vacant, as if searching for something or someone. Next time you find yourself at Miami International Airport, keep an eye on the departure screens. If you see a flight listed for gate D19, do yourself a favor. Don't go near it. You might not make it back. If you enjoyed this story, hit the like button and subscribe for more spine-chilling tales. And remember, the next time you travel, watch out for the gates where reality starts to bend, because you never know what might be waiting for you. I never believed in ghosts, not until that night. It was a typical graveyard shift at the call center, midnight to 8 a.m. The fluorescent lights buzzed above me, and the hum of the other operators' voices faded into white noise. Most of the team was quiet, doing their best to get through the hours without getting too distracted. But for some reason, tonight felt different. I couldn't shake the sensation that something was off. I answered call after call, the usual complaints and questions about accounts, service disruptions, billing errors. The monotony of it all had a hypnotic effect. I was zoning out, barely noticing when the next call came in. Click. A sharp sound. The line went dead for a second before a voice whispered through, "Help me." I sat up straight, my heart pounding. It wasn't the usual robotic customer service voice. This was breathy, desperate. "Hello? Can you hear me?" I asked, trying to mask the rising anxiety in my voice. The voice didn't answer right away. Then, with a chilling calm, it whispered again, "Help me. It's too late. They're coming." I froze. My fingers hovered above the keyboard. The call had gone through the company's system like any normal customer would. But this wasn't normal. I could hear the faint sound of static. Something was wrong. I should have hung up, but my curiosity got the best of me. "Who's coming?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. The line crackled again, the whisper growing louder. "You won't make it out alive." A chill ran down my spine. I glanced around the room. The other operators were busy, oblivious to the strange call I was receiving. My monitor flickered once, and then again. The voice on the line was now clearer, almost as if it was right beside me. "I'm trapped here, trapped in the dark." "Where are you?" I asked, my hands shaking now. But before the caller could respond, the lights above me flickered. The whole room seemed to dim. It wasn't just a power surge. Something else was happening. I tried to speak, but the line went silent. I hung up quickly, my heart hammering, but it didn't stop there. The phone rang again. This time, I hesitated. Should I answer? Was it the same caller? My eyes darted to the clock, 3:17 a.m. There was no one else on the other end of the row of cubicles. Everyone else was either too far or too absorbed in their calls. I picked up the phone. "Hello?" I said, my voice cracking. A strange, guttural laugh echoed from the other side. It wasn't the caller's voice. It was deeper, distorted. The laughter was slow, deliberate, like something trying to break through from the other side. The line went dead again. I set the receiver down, shaking. My hands were clammy. This was beyond anything I'd ever experienced. I needed to report this. But as I stood up, I saw something in the reflection of the glass window in front of me. A shadow, barely visible, standing behind me. I spun around, but there was no one there. I rushed to grab my phone to call my supervisor, but when I looked at the screen, my heart sank. The number listed wasn't from the company. It was from a private line. The phone rang again. I stared at it, frozen. Should I pick it up? Should I call for help? With trembling hands, I answered. This time, the voice was calm, almost soothing, but it sent a cold shiver down my spine. "It's too late. You're next." Suddenly, the lights flickered violently and then went out completely. The room was plunged into darkness. The hum of the machines died. I could hear my own breath, fast and shallow. I was alone. A loud crash sounded from the other end of the office, followed by footsteps. Slow, deliberate, like something or someone was coming closer. I grabbed my things and rushed to the door, but as I reached for the handle, a cold hand grasped my wrist. The skin on my arm prickled, ice cold. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. I wrenched the door open and bolted into the hall, my mind racing. Behind me, I could hear the heavy footsteps getting closer. Every instinct in me screamed to run, but when I glanced back, there was no one there. The office was empty. I never went back to that call center after that night, and to this day, I still get calls at random hours, silent except for that whisper. "You're next."